Politics now, and after a pretty slow start, the Republican presidential primary race, we are now beginning to get a better idea of who is looking to take on President Obama in 2012. As we reported at the top of the hour, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich and Texas Congressman Ron Paul now both officially in the running. Former governor and Fox News host Mike Huckabee will announce on his show this weekend what he's planning to do. He's one of several big-name contenders who have yet to announce their intentions. White House reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Jonathan Weissman, joining us now. The Journal, of course, owned by the parent company of this network. Jonathan, good to talk to you. So let's hit on some of these players. I want to ask you first about Mitt Romney, the former governor of Massachusetts, who has run for president before. The main opponent that he has, according to a lot of the pundits, could be Mitt Romney. Why are people saying that?
That's because Mitt Romney has, as ironically, one of his greatest achievements as governor of Massachusetts is also his greatest liability as a presidential candidate. That would be the health care plan that he shepherded through the Massachusetts legislature, which is very similar to the health care plan that President Obama shepherded through the U.S. Congress. It's a universal health plan that subsidizes the purchase of health insurance for everyone in Massachusetts and is mandated that everybody owns health insurance in Massachusetts. Now, Mitt Romney yesterday tried to put this issue behind him, or at least get ahead of it, but there are real questions about whether he actually succeeded in doing that.
I was a little nervous there watching that big truck behind you, but I'm glad you're okay. Obviously some gardening going on in the White House today. Let's talk about Mike Huckabee, our colleague here at Fox, at least until or if he announces his candidacy for president, in which case he would no longer be on the payroll here in this building. He ran as an outsider last time around, Jonathan. That would not be the case if he decides to make another run for it.
Absolutely. You know, Mike Huckabee has really actually broadened his appeal. When he won the Iowa caucuses in 2008, he really was the darling of the evangelical world, of homeschoolers, and he really came out of nowhere and took the Iowa caucuses. But, you know, since then, in large part because of his Fox show, he's really broadened his appeal because he's got a very winning personality, and he's kind of soft-spoken guy, and he would go into the Iowa caucuses as really the front runner almost immediately. He's been talking to people about putting together a campaign, and you know, if he says yes, I think he really jumps to the head of the pack when he's leading in most of the polls. Now, I must tell you, I talked to Ed Rollins, who was his campaign manager in 2008 and has really been organizing the campaign in waiting for Mike Huckabee. And Ed Rollins told me he has not been told what Mike Huckabee is going to say on Saturday, and he interprets that as meaning Huckabee's probably going to say he is not running. Interesting. Well, it'll be interesting to see exactly when during his show this weekend he makes his announcement, because if he gets it right out of at the top of the show and he announces that he's running, I think they're going to have to pull the plug here at Fox. But we'll pay attention to that. I want to ask you about Jon Huntsman. We mentioned he's the former governor of Utah. President Obama named him as the ambassador to China, although he has since come back to the United States. He is said to be seriously considering a run. And I read a piece in Time magazine that says that this is the guy that the White House and Democrats should be most afraid of. Why? Well, look, I hate to say it, but I think the media might say that because the media loves moderate Republicans, telegenic, good-looking, very personable. But it's really up to Jon Huntsman to show that he can appeal to core Republican voters. Because, look, this is a guy who backed cap and trade. He teamed up with a Democrat, Montana Governor Schweitzer, and Arnold Schwarzenegger in California to push a climate change action network. He embraced President Obama's stimulus plan, and then, of course, he went to go work for the Obama administration as the ambassador to China. And although that ambassadorship really gave him foreign policy experience that no one else has in this field, he really has a lot to prove to the Republican voters who are going to ask, are you with us? Are you with the Obama administration? Good stuff. Jonathan Weissman from the Wall Street Journal joining us today from out in front of the White House. Jonathan, thanks so much. Thank you.